You're mute, Ramon.
It's Saturday, yo. Like,
Right?
can I have a break on Saturday? We had a long week. Can I accidentally mute my microphone? Party people, how are we today? Eduardo, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Ramon. Thank you once again for inviting me. How was your week?
Good, good. Excited, energized, and ready to go, man. Ready to hop on these topics today. How about you, Eduardo? How was your week?
I'm fine, thank you. Yesterday I went to the bar. I went to drink with my friends, with two friends, in fact. One of them is a friend who work in a airlines of, and he is going to help me to travel to other countries in a very good price. So we
Okay,
decided
okay.
to go to the bar to discuss about that. Um, on the way I was fine. I think I was fine. What on the world, like normal, nothing special.
Okay, good, man. So Eduardo has the connect for the flights. He got the flight plug. So if you need to travel, you can holler at him. I see you got a ghost in your background that's opening and closing the door. Shout out to Aaron in the background. What's up, my friend? I see you there creeping. It's all good. No worries,
Yes.
man.
Okay,
But
Aaron is preparing his breakfast.
it's all good, man. We miss Aaron, man. He should join us one of these days. But anyhow, shout out to everybody. Let me peep in the live stream. I know hold on, okay, we're still a little early, but shout out to everybody out there listening. Again, thank you so much for joining me today on this. Let's see, this beautiful Saturday morning. It is April 27th. For us, we're in the spring, so the sun is shining, the flowers are growing. Thank y'all for joining us today. As usual, we're here to practice our English, practice our communication. Shout out to everybody all around the world that joins us. Whether you're trying to learn English, even if you already know English, join in, be a part of this conversation so we could all learn something new. Like I said, we're not experts in this topic, but consider us your friends sitting in your living room, just talking about whatever we want. And that's okay because we can. So much love to everybody out there. Shout out to TikTok. If you're listening on TikTok and you got half of the combo, join us to watch the whole entire stream so you can hear the whole conversation on the YouTube channel, which today we are going to be talking about TikTok just a little bit. That's going to be a little bit later. But I guess we could get on right to it, right? So today's topic is something that, through my experience and in coaching English, it's not the funnest part of the experience for some. Some might feel it's not necessary. Some might try to avoid it a little bit. And it's understandable because when you think back when you were like in fifth grade and you had to go to English class, maybe it was language arts. It's like, this guy had a big book. Okay, today we're going to talk about, which is kind of what, even though I respect teachers immensely for what they do, but part of my teaching principles is to enjoy. And if you don't enjoy the process, then you already lost. So, and to bring it back to my point, English grammar. English grammar. What is English grammar? In fact, let's break it down. What is grammar? Grammar is the structured rules of a language, the laws of the language. All right. So for English grammar, it'll be the structured rules and laws for speaking English. And that goes into like, you know, just understanding what different words are, how to make a sentence, punctuation. You even got to make sure you're spelling things correctly, right? There's a lot that goes into grammar. Eduardo, how do you feel about English grammar?
Well, of course, sometimes when you listen to me, maybe you seems that I do not respect too much grammar because not because I don't want, because I sometimes maybe stay because I confuse. Maybe I think Spanish and I speak in English, and that's 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 difference. It's how cause problem in me, right? In a way, how I structure my sentence. But I think it's very important to at least respect grammar or the rules of how language has to be speaking, because it's it helps you to make sense what you want to say, right? And it helps you to communicate in very in it is improve your communication, right? Your
Yes,
communication skill. Because imagine that if we don't respect grammar, people who is listening us can't misunderstand our message, right? So it can cause
absolutely.
problems.
Absolutely.
And that happened in me when I have to speak in my word. For example, if I have a meeting and the person who is behind the screen is it's a person from I don't know, especially from Europe's, they're more quite sensitive to if you speak bad, right? Because they listen and they say, what the fuck, what are you saying? But for example, with people from India, for example, don't happen that, right? They just listen you, they try to understand, and they have many mistakes too. So I feel in a way more comfortable, right? But I think it's important because, especially in war, because if we don't understand very well, maybe I can say yes for something that I didn't understand, or they can say yes for something that I think they understand, but in a way I say other things. Uh, and it could be dangerous because at the time that you have to pay something, it's like, why I have to pay? But on the conversation, you say yes, no, yes, because I didn't understand. But right, so it's something like that. So I think it's very important. So at least maybe we can have some mistake, but in a way we have to correct as much as we can.
Absolutely, man. You got to be very, very careful because, you say something the wrong way, put the punctuation in the wrong place, spell something off with the wrong letter. You can send off a completely wrong message.
When I studied English, I remember years ago when I was in the university, I assist to an institute to learn English, right? So what I did, for example, is when we have an exam or we have a test, I for example try to write everything in Spanish, and I try to in a way to memorize. Okay, if I'm going to use this adjective, I have to use this verb or the same. If I am going to use this verb, after this verb is going to have this and the other. So I try to memorize with the time. You read, you speak, and it's something that it's in your mind. So there are some words that I remember and I understand completely. But there are other, for example, rules that I don't understand. For example, when we learn the future perfect or the future perfect or the future continue, I don't know, something like that, and it's like to, oh yes, I have to, or the conditional, for example, if you have this word, you have to say this and the other, and it's quite, for you, for example, maybe it's natural, right? Because you live there and you are surrendered that everyone who speak like that. So, but for someone who speak a new language, sometimes it could be a little difficult. But still, we have to study, we have to understand, right? And practice is key for everything. Everything that you want to get, you have to practice. Study, practice is something interactive, right? So you learn, you practice, you learn, you practice, you learn. That's the recipe, I think.
No, I agree 100%, man. You got to put in that work. You got to practice. Even if you want to learn English, you have to, you can't avoid the grammar. That's a very, very important part. But really quick, before I continue this conversation, so we have 77 people watching right now, but check this out. My chat's not working. So my chat is blank. I'm not saying that you guys are supposed to be typing anything in there. But usually, with this many people watching, I wonder if there's something wrong. Eduardo, do me a small favor. You mind going on the video and just watching and let me know if the chat is appearing on your end. This is
Yes, of
valid
course.
because this is how I communicate with you guys. This is how I
Yes,
say
of course.
hello, I shout you out, mention everybody, answer questions. So without the chat, oh, okay, wait. I see Wes. What's up, Wes? We doing good. We doing good. Okay. All right. We got one person in. But either way, let's check on that because this is a great topic, man. And I really would hate to not be able to communicate with y'all in the chat. All right. So I see Wes is in there. Let me know, Eduardo, if you have that pulled up. Okay,
Yes,
Eduardo
I do right.
Castillo.
Can you see my chat?
Okay. All right, good. Wes, I appreciate you. We're good. Okay, no worries. I was just making sure, it's all good, Let's keep it moving. So yes, let's focus back again. If anyone is trying to communicate in the chat and your messages are not going through, I apologize. I am not able to see that many messages for some reason, but either way, shout out to everybody watching. We got a pretty high viewership at this moment compared to our usual. So let's just keep it going, right? So with grammar, like I said, a lot of children, right, they learn how to speak English before they even learn grammar, right? They know how to talk, they know how to say words from mimicking, from imitating, from listening to others and repeating like a parrot. Parrot that talks repeats what people say. But when you know the grammar, you know the ingredient to the language. And when you know the ingredient, there's a higher chance that you're not going to make a mistake. You're not going to say the wrong thing. You're not going to send the wrong message. You're going to spell things right. Look, the word message and massage are off by like a letter. So if you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to send you a massage, but you meant
No,
message,
that's right. And even the way how you pronounce, right? So sometimes your
pronounce.
accent pronounce, sorry, like this, pronounce the way how you pronounce. For example, sometimes you want to explain something and you use that the wrong accents on some part of the word. So it can mean it's different, right? So I know that I think that English people, especially from UK, are more sensible for this because when I see a movie, I hear the accent that they use and they are very remarkable, right? So you have to be very careful because maybe you can have some mistakes when you have the wrong accent, in some part where you emphasize some part, you can maybe delivers a different message.
Yeah, exactly. You got to definitely pronounce correctly. I mean, that comes like you said with practice. But I mean, if you want to learn the language to the best of your ability, I don't think anyone should take a shortcut. Learn it all. Learn the grammar, learn the vocabulary words, learn the punctuation, where to put the comma, where to put the apostrophe. Now, today we're not going to have a grammar lesson, but we're just talking about the things
Yes,
that are
and for
included.
example, something that happened to me by my personal experience, I want to touch this point because I consider it's important. When I was in the school, I really hate English. I really hate English. Even I, I didn't pass the exam, the English exams. I failed the exam many times. English exams. I have to do that course again, and I really hate it. But at some point in my life, especially in my university, when I was studying, I said, of course, if I don't speak English, maybe I'm going to be the kind of professional that don't want to speak English, don't like to speak English, and is not going to have access to maybe actual information, or I can communicate with people with top top position, right? So I propose studying English. So as I didn't know anything on that time, what I did, for example, was download all the grammar, and the explication of this grammar was in Spanish. So I read in Spanish, but I practice in English. That means that, for example, if I have to do a exercise, of course, like the exercise explanation was in Spanish, and the resolution was in. So I try to. Oh, I know that this is the subject, this is the verb, this is the way how you change the verb with this kind of subject. So all this the explanation was in Spanish, but the exercise was in English. So I recommend people, if they don't know how to start, you can start on that way, right? So try to read in your own language and practice in English. So it's a good way. At some point, you are going to learn something, and it's going to be easily for them to read all in English, or even the explication, the explanation.
And also to add on to what you just said, nowadays we live in a very, very digital apps on your
Mm,
phone, text messages,
yes,
WhatsApp. And those are moments when you should practice and utilize your grammar the most, because grammar is a little more visible when reading, a little less visible when talking. Because, of course, like I said, some people know how to talk with no grammar, but this is and which is why, which is why I'm like, look, I wanted to use the chat today more than ever because, by the way, shout out to Volter. Good morning. Shout out to Richard. Okay, okay. I see a couple of us trickling in. There you go. That's more like it, more like it's how it's supposed to be. Because there's a lot of us watching, so I was a little confused. But anyhow, um, in this chat during this live stream, you can practice your grammar. You can practice your grammar, how you spell things. We can like help each other if we make a mistake. I suggest, and this is not a paid promotion, okay? This is just me saying something I use. There's a Chrome extension called Grammarly.
I use that. I use
There you
that
go.
because it's super necessary. For example, when you speak with me on WhatsApp, okay, I have the WhatsApp. Oh, I have to answer to Ramon. I try to answer with you, and English is not my mother English, so I have many mistakes, especially when I write, right? So because I just forget something, like a word, I don't know, something, a letter, I don't know, and the Grammarly correct me, or even the connector, they correct me. It's very useful. It's super easy for. I recommend all people that is studying English that use that. And the other thing that I do, adding what you say, is download a keyboard in different language. For example, in English. So I try to make friends from other parts of the world. For example, I try to make friends for other parts, and I use the keyboard with English grammar. So it's very easy for me because while I writing, you are it's correcting me, and it helped me a lot. So and the other thing that I did, for example, when I was in the university learning English, I enter on forums, and on that forums create a room, live room, where you turn on your webcam and you speak. So you choose a topic. Each room have a different topic, and many people enter to practice their English. People from all parts of the world, for Russia, for Italy, not only for Peru, but for all parts of the world. So they speak between them. So we speak, we share knowledge, we create connection, and even most of them I have on WhatsApp. So we speak time to time. Hey, how are you? How is everything there? So it helps you, because when you more you are exposed, more you learn, right? Because you are in contact with the language, and of course it's important to learn grammar, because it helps you to structure your sentence, right? So I recommend that they can do that, or they can download some application like I use Babel, for example. Babel helped me to remember my grammar, because maybe I could know some vocabulary, but on grammar, sometimes it's quite complex, because for this kind of ruler, you have to do this or do the other. For example, if you want to tell a history, okay, you have to use the connection in past, the word past, or regular verb, irregular verb. So you have to conjugate in the different ways. So it's you have to know, right? Because if not, people is going to read you, and it's going to say, oh, he's speaking I don't know like I don't know how to say cavernicola, but it's like that.
Yeah, but and by the way, Eduardo, so Eduardo does not invite me to these VIP English classes where everyone from around the world is talking in all these lessons and all these different rooms. You got to let me know, man, so I can join one of these. Eduardo's holding back on the private English conversation. But where do these people have these conversations? Is it like in a Zoom? Is it like on a website?
And the other thing that helps to learn grammar is on movies. When you see movies,
Eduardo, I just
you
asked you a question and you completely disregarded it. Another thing good with your grammar is listening when someone's asking you something. I asked you a question. You heard me?
no, yes, tell me again, please.
All right. I asked you. You said that you go and talk in these rooms with people
Yes,
from
yes.
Italy, people from around the world. I'm saying, where is it that these people talk? Because you've never invited me to these conversations.
As I mentioned, I did that. When I was on the university, so it's about 10 years ago. I don't know if the page exists yet. The name in Berlin was the name, something like that, and you connect easily and free. So, but actually, I don't know if it exists. So, yeah, if I haven't invited you, it's because actually I don't assist to this room. So, but maybe I can find this week, and maybe we can enter again.
I'm just twisting your arm, bro. You know I love you, man. And by the way, if you have the live chat open, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it is not easy to listen to the person talking in Zoom, watch everybody in the chat, and controlling everything on the back end. I was just messing with you, man. You know I got love for you, bro.
The
But
problem that sometimes I have is that when I'm speaking with you and I don't know how to say any a word, I write on the internet, but my concentration goes to there and I couldn't listen too well. That's the problem sometimes because I say, oh, what's the name? What's the name of the word in English? So I have to find a dictionary and to speak because in Spanish some words are very different than in English, right? So I have to be sure what I'm going to say.
yeah, bro. And just in case anybody didn't know, Eduardo is one of my elite students. All right. So he's been with me for so long that I want him to reach native speaker. I want him to be at the highest level of English. So anytime that a word is pronounced wrong, he might go off topic. It is my duty as the English coach to let him know, to tell him, hey man, look, then correct him, right? Because what kind of English coach would I be if I allow him to like continue in the conversation with something incorrectly? So just so y'all know, I got love for this man. It's like my brother. We've been talking for years, communicating across the world, and he has improved so much. And the one thing I love about him is Eduardo has, forgive my French, he has balls, right? He has courage. He comes on here in front of all of you every week as he is in the process of learning, showing you the journey and sharing it with all of you. So man, just wanted if I never did, I just wanted to give shout out to Eduardo, round of applause. We appreciate you and we're glad you're with us every week.
And I want to add something, now
Yes.
that you mentioned this, is that, for example, uh, I I think that people have to be clear, right? Have to be a goal, clear their goal, right? So, for example, if my goal is learning English, I have to know that I have to study, I have to practice, right? So it's invest your time in something that you want to get, right? In everything in your life. So if you want so maybe to go travel, maybe you can, I don't know, find a way to make money to buy the ticket or the way that know someone's or try to find information about how to get there. So you find, right? So and for that you need to invest time, right? So you have to they have to see like that, right? If I want to learn English, I have to practice. I have to be disciplined, so I have to study. I have to know that it's going to demand my time, right? It's going to, I have to give time to that, because anyone's, it's like gym, right? You don't ride to the gym and the next day you are going to be very in shape, right? No, you have to go to the gym and work and work and work and work. So that's the secret in everything, even in life, in work, in everything that you do in your life. So I recommend to invest your time, but invest smart, right? So the best way to learn English is to find your correct way to learn, right? For example, if I am a person that don't like stay in front of the screen, so okay, don't like that. So maybe I can travel. I have the possibility to travel. I travel to a country where they speak English, so I can practice easily and faster. I don't know if my way to sorry, if my goal is to learn English in 6 months. Okay, I have to travel there. I have to speak. If my goal is learn English in 1 year, so I can download an application. I can to a Sixth Institute. I don't know, but the more time that you spend learning English, the quicker you're going to learn, right? So it's like invest your time.
Agreed. Even with me, like I wanted to be a better speaker because to everyone's surprise, I'm not that good of a speaker. Public speaker, keynote speaker, a speaker that can speak in any situation. It's very easy to speak like, to your family or something in the kitchen. But when you have to communicate accordingly across countries, across companies, across cultures, you're going to have to take some time and dedicate to it, which is why I'm also here every week trying to improve my coaching skills, my communicating skills. It's
But do you
not,
know? So sorry that I interrupted you, Ramon.
no,
Sorry,
you're good.
sorry. I feel that I interrupt a lot. Do you know what how I learned that? I enlist an institute about how to speak in public. And we have a coach that was a girl who we have class all Sunday, and we have class Saturday and Sunday. So we go there and so she teach us how to stand in front, how to move your hands, that your voice, the level of your voice, how you have to avoid some gestures. So the last final test was to go to an audit and and do a paper like I don't know, like poetry. You have to say a poetry in front of 100 people, and all of them with your eyes in you, and you have to move. You have to read a poetry, right? So that's what very challenging, because you have to speak in public in real, right? So she choose events, she take there and she say, okay, speak, and everyone has to speak, and it helped a lot, because on that way I feel that okay, it's easier for you to speak in public, because now you know how, right? Because you have to study, you have to invest time. The same, right? The same recipe.
Yeah. And like I said, you got to apply yourself, do the work. Yes, I've heard of communication coaches that you can hire that help you, like you said, from the hand gestures to sometimes they say if you're in a big crowd to focus on something in the back so you don't have to look at the people in their eyes. I don't know. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different ways, and everyone's a little different. It's almost like a performance. Everybody has a different way of public speaking, a different way of doing it. For me, right now, I believe there's no better teacher than me and you being here live in front of these people and communicating with them every week, connecting, bringing a new topic. It's funny because today's topic, I think we can. I didn't even want to. I didn't even get to talk about everything I wanted to talk about with English grammar, but I feel like it's such a big topic that we might even have to carry out English grammar a few more live streams. I want to get into the alphabet. I want to get into like nouns, verbs, adjectives. I'll explain what those are, homonyms, synonyms, antonyms, what all these different words might mean, but we'll be here all day. But today I just wanted to break the ice with English grammar. Of course, to some, it may not be the funnest way to learn. But like Eduardo said, you got to find a way to learn that works for you so that you can learn to the best of your ability. But we also can't avoid any ingredients, right? We got to make sure that the formula is correct so we can have the best results. But with that being said, I wanted to slide into our next topic. So, TikTok, TikTok. Let's talk about TikTok. As y'all know, TikTok is a very popular app. I love TikTok. In fact, I'm on TikTok. What's up, TikTok? But there's a little bit of an issue. To my understanding, TikTok is Chinese owned. It's a company called ByteDance, and they're the owners of TikTok. But there's a problem, right? The United States doesn't like this. They found a problem. And the president, Joe Biden, has signed off on a bill that is going to be passed through as a law where they are going to ban TikTok in the United States if they don't sell it to someone in the United States. Thoughts, Eduardo. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's I think that that point have, you know, we have to have many, we have to consider many actors, right? First of all, I will say that it's that this difference between United States and China that maybe cause that they don't want to they wants to raise power to Chinese company, right? So on the other in the other hands, you have people who choose, right? If your cities choose to use that, maybe it's their option, right? So the regulation have to consider the personal freedoms, right? Because of course, for one side, United States say no, it's security because Chinese can use our data, our user data to I don't know to other to others to do other things or something that can damage United States, right? So it's like I don't want you stay on my country because you are going to have all my information, my city's data, my city information. So I don't want to you continue working here because as much as I know, USA say that no, this is not security, right? But in the other hands, that the CEO says that the TikTok CEO says, oh no, there is no problem with this. The application is very safe. It's not going to store data for anyone's. We are not going to violate privacy for anyone's, but I don't know. So we have to be the whole problem, right? So I think that many actors are here. Of course, the money is it's here, right? So maybe United States wants to, I don't know, run an application similar than TikTok, and that's why they don't need TikTok there, right? So, but as much as I know, for example, TikTok has been very popular because the short videos, the way how they sell was very innovative way, right? For example, here in Peru, many people use TikTok to sell. So I suppose that in United States, many people use TikTok to sell, right? For example, if you want to sell a product, you do a short video that people can say it and say, oh, I like this video, I'm going to buy it. But imagine that if you don't have the tool now, so how you are going to sell? So you have to explore other channels, but it still is going to cause some damage to people who work on that application, right? And of course, for people who use that, right? For example, if I want to find some information, I don't know, oh, my screen freezer, so on my computer. So I go to TikTok, why my screen freezing and what I have to do. So I find easily and quickly the information and I try to help. So I use that like a tool, right? And I know that many people use like that too. And other maybe use like, like something that to relax, right? To see videos. So it's going to affect many people. So I think that I am not totally sure about the problem as much as I know is because security. But I will say that it's very, sad when governments try to regulate on that way some companies because they just put the ruler and you have to adapt and maybe on that adaptation you can you can lose money or people can be affected.
No, I'm not taking away from how good of an app this is. It's a great app. Um, Now, I mean, I don't know everyone's opinion, but here's mine. I agree. Great app, innovative, at times, even my favorite app to be on. Um, there's a way that people post on this app where they really put the magnifying glass on humanity. I mean, to be honest, I'm crying most of the time when I'm on TikTok. Super sad stuff. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, okay, too sad. But the problem is this.
Which is a problem.
So there are differences between China and the United States. I am personally not in the government, so I can't tell you exactly what it might be. Now, have we heard about the issue with the fentanyl, with the power grid being threatened, with there is a reason why that I think it was like a balloon that was like spying on us. There is probable cause for the United States to be on alert. I'm not saying like, oh, they're doing something wrong. But it's enough to be like, let's be careful. Now, most people that use social media may not be 100% aware of some of the privacy you're giving up when you use these applications. Here, do a little a funny test. Everybody, go to your applications, go to settings, go to your applications, and go to permissions, and go check how many apps you have given permission to access your microphone. You give them permission to access it on almost every app. You give them access to your photo gallery. What if you have private pictures of yourself there? But you give it to them because you want to post. You want the app to work. You want to talk to Fulano and Fulana, right? You want to engage in this app. So you don't even read, right? You just, yes, 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 check mark, agree. But you don't really know that you're giving up your information. You're giving up sensitive, like I said, you're giving up sensitive information that people can use in a negative way. Some of this data that you give to them, they sell it and make money from it. Your name, phone number, all that information. And you're giving it up to them. So what happens is, at least the United States feels like in the United States, yes, there's laws in place. You can go as far as protecting yourself and taking certain steps. But if China's the owner of this, then it's tricky. Now, another country who is at odds with us now has almost every American's private information. And they have it. I mean, it's not to say they're going to do good. It's not to say they're going to do bad. But if one day things went left, that is an upper hand. And everybody, and everybody, they said once upon a time there was going to be a microchip in everybody so that the government knows what everyone is doing. The microchip is not even needed anymore. The microchip is the iPhone you carry with you every single day. And you tell it where you are, what you're doing, where you're going. You give it all your information. And if you lose your phone, where's my phone? You go crazy. You need the phone. It's become our battery. We can't operate without it no more. So now that's why the United States is like, look, for and I get it. A lot of people that use TikTok, they're not thinking about that, right? Because they're not in the military, they're not in the government, they're not in this fight. They're just worried about themselves and the money they make on TikTok, and that's it. They're not worried about the security of the country in its totality. And it's not to say that it's just being careful, man. It's just when you put a gate in your house doesn't mean that everyone outside is bad. You're just protecting what's yours and you're being extra careful about it. And you know what? If you're a creator, if you are talented, if you have a gift, you know what? You can take your people and your talent and go to any app and succeed the same way if you truly have this gift.
Yes.
If they ban TikTok, all of that attention is gonna go somewhere else. Back to YouTube, back to Instagram. They'll make a new app. They'll bring back MySpace. Even if every social media app shut down right now, like Gary Vee says, the attention has to go somewhere. It's exciting. Now we got to see where everybody's going. Is it back to the TV? Where are we going to go? But if you're talented and you know how to communicate and you're gifted and you have a purpose and you're trying to help people, you will succeed no matter what gets banned and no matter where you go. Rant
Yeah.
over.
Yes, you're right, Ramon. It's like to okay, TikTok is not the only who do that, right? It's all application that you use, almost all application that you use do the same. Have your information, have your data, have your access to everything. I think that thinking about how the government, I mean, in the position of the government, if I know that a broad company like TikTok that they say that it's from China have all data or information about USA citizens, they can know the market, the USA market. They can know their cost, their I don't know their likes. They can know their behavior. They can know everything about them. So with that information, Chinese company can do. I will say it's competitive products that can sell on that country, and this is going to be a competition from Chinese that developed a better products, maybe better service than USA company because they know now how the world function, right? So it could be the reason that maybe USA say no, as much as I limit the access to our information, you are going to restrict our competition, right? If you think like that, right? Because you don't know how the market function very well. So
The problem is deeper than that. I don't think this is about a product or I think this is the well-being and livelihood of the American people. I think the problem is beyond just someone that's competitive in the market. I think so. Again, I don't know for sure. I think so. Remember, I'm cousin Ramon and cousin Eduardo. We're in the living room talking. Now, and that's the thing, like they're not, I mean, I don't think they're stealing our information. I think we all give it up because we all don't know better. When little kids, when not little kids, but when like maybe teenagers use TikTok, I don't know if there's I know they're trying to make a rule for social media, but I think TikTok is all ages. So when someone that's younger is using TikTok, do you accept this and this terms and conditions? Yes, 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 yes. And even adults that don't read. Yes, yes, yes. It's not that they're taking our information. I think we willingly give it up, but they have the digital fine print that a lot of people don't read. But that's with all apps, really, all of them. The problem is this one is owned by another country that I guess there's a lack of trust with. And again, I have friends in China, so I'm not trying to, say anything negative about any country, but since COVID, there's been conflict, right? Or I think even beyond that. But all right, that was our conversation today. TikTok. From what I heard, let me see here. They said they do not have a plan of selling this social media service. So they don't want to sell it. ByteDance does not want to sell TikTok. I think they might stand strong on their principle and just allow it to be banned in the United States, and the rest of the world will have it. But if the United States gets banned, I feel like the app will also whatever, in my opinion. But that's only from my point of view because I'm in the United States, right? So that's why I say that, because most of the people I see on TikTok, not all, but a lot, are more from the US, but that's because that's my algorithm. My algorithm picks up where I live, just like your algorithm probably shows you people in Peru, people in your country. So, but yeah, but removing all Americans from the app is definitely a big dent in the amount of users they have. But nonetheless, Eduardo, thank you. I appreciate you joining me every single Saturday for these wonderful people. Just a heads up, this week coming up, attention everyone, attention, because I don't want anybody to be confused. So the week coming up, we're not doing the live stream Saturday. We're going to bring it back to Tuesday, and I think Gang is going to join us this Tuesday. So, which is like in 3 or 4 days. So, Eduardo, you heard me? Tuesday, Gang is going to join us. In fact, Gang is going to catch up on some of the topics he's missed. We're just going to ask him a little bit about, his English journey, some of the things we've been talking about where he hasn't made it. Remember, he's in another time zone, so it's not always easy to get everybody at the same time. So we'll meet on Tuesday, the old time we used to meet at. Okay? Eduardo, of course, I'll remind you as usual. Thank you, everybody in the chat that joined today. Always super happy and makes my day every time I have the opportunity to communicate with all of you, connect with all of you on this wonderful Saturday morning. Eduardo, any final words?
Thank you once again for joining to our podcast. Remember, understanding the grammar in any language, especially in English, is essential. Not for better communication only, but because it can open doors and open global opportunities. Like in my case, for example, I work with many people from many parts of the world, so the key for work with them is speaking English and is speak correctly, as much as I can at least. So it's my recommendation is continue practice, continue exploring, continue questioning, continue until you get what you want. Okay, thank you very much, Ramon, for invitement, and I hope everyone have a good weekend. Thank you.
Eduardo, appreciate you. Oh yeah, really quick. 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. For those in the chat, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll begin the countdown. Always a little 30-minute countdown, and then we get started. Again, thank you all. Much love to everybody all around the world. Thank you for joining me on the Ramon G live stream with my brother Eduardo. Thank y'all. Have a